saw that they were successful against Chauvin. They decided to go with the federal case first against the other three officers. Do you see this case being more difficult to prove than the state case against the officers?
Definitely. The federal case is very different. The state case is very direct. It's easy to argue. I mean, it's more about what Chauvin did in that case, or what, in this case, these three officers, whether they aided and abetted Chauvin in the second degree murder or the manslaughter. And that's very straightforward. The federal case is a little more complicated, more nuanced. It's about a civil right, a right that the victim, in this case George Floyd, had, and how these officers deprived them of that right under the color of law. And under the color of law is basically them being officers. So it's not as direct. It's not as easy to explain. And you are in a federal courtroom. Things are a lot more formal and under control. The judges have a lot more control over the way the proceedings are held. They're usually shorter, tighter, less emotion. Those are advantages that the prosecution had. The emotional aspect, the prosecution had that in the state case. They won't have as much of it in this case as we're seeing and as you talked about earlier.
Yeah, federal judges, they're like demigods. I mean, they're a whole nother level. They control those courtrooms. I think one of the big issues, though, Lara, is going to be the willfulness, proving that they willfully deprived him of his civil rights and also willfully decided not to provide medical aid, because there's a number of factors that I think work against that. So there is an uphill battle here for the prosecution. All right, Lara, stand by. We're going to take a break.